I saw something the day I arrived here and literally every single day after that. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. When I first noticed it, I was like, wait, how is this normal? I never saw this in America. I never experienced this there before, but it has completely changed my perception of what normal is supposed to look like in a relationship. So stay with me because what I'm about to show you, it might change yours too. In America, it's considered something young people do, but after a certain age, it's almost embarrassing. We don't talk about it, but we all know it's true. What am I talking about? Here in Spain, they hold hands. All of them, all ages, every single day. It's not just the young couples, and it's not just teenagers who can't keep their hands off each other. I'm talking about the 45-year-old couple walking to the market on a Wednesday, the 60-year-old couple after dinner, the 70-year-old couple on their evening walk, hand in hand, arms around each other, just because. And the moment that stopped me completely, and this is the one I keep coming back to in my mind, it was an elderly couple I saw one afternoon. The woman was using a walker. She was moving real slow, taking her time, and her husband was right beside her, and his hand was on her lower back. After however many decades, not because she needed him to hold her up, she had the walker for that, but because he wanted to be that close to her. I'm telling you, I stood there on that street and something shifted in me. It wasn't sadness and it wasn't envy. It was more like recognition. My body knew something that my mind had been trying not to say out loud. That's what it's supposed to look like. That man, he wasn't performing love for somebody watching. There was nobody watching. It was just who he is with her after all those years. Still, I love it here because people just walk slower. They sit on benches and conversate, sit in silence together on benches with their arms around one another. They have breakfast together, dinner together. Nobody's rushing to get somewhere. They're present in the same moment, moving in the same direction. They're choosing each other, just on a regular Tuesday, and not just on anniversaries or some special holiday. That's not a Spanish thing. It's a choice, a daily choice, made so many times over, it just becomes who you are together. Real love that lasts and stays affectionate, it actually exists. And for me, I needed to see that. And maybe you do too. I know I've talked about this before in some of my other videos, but I was in a relationship for 6.5 years. And when I saw that couple, my first thought was not about something here in Spain. My first thought was, we didn't do that. Not once in 6.5 years did we just walk down the street holding hands. Not because we were fighting and not because something was wrong. It just wasn't who we were together. Sometimes we'd hold hands in the car when no one was around, but not out in the world. Not on a random Tuesday just because. I had normalized that. I had decided that's just what long-term relationships look like. After a while, you settle into something more practical. Watching couple after couple after couple, I realized I had been settling for practical when I deserved present. That old version of me stopped expecting to be reached for. I stopped believing that kind of love was still available. I am living out my dream of traveling and living in a foreign land. Dreams do come true. And I say that because so does love. It's something that you have to keep dreaming about, fantasizing even about, because it's there. It's attainable, but you have to continuously believe in it. Don't doubt it. We tend to stay stuck where we are in our countries, our jobs, in our relationships. We don't have to stay stuck in any situation. There's so much more out there in this world, and love is out there too. It's out there and you can grab a hold of it. I'm just soaking in all the love that I'm receiving from people. Today, I had a contractor come into my home because he was fixing a leak that I had in my shower. And he was just so nice. He was from Peru. And I had traveled to Peru about 6 months ago. And we were talking about it. And I said, yeah, it was so amazing being there because every time I came across somebody, they wanted to hug. And he said, yeah, That's part of the culture. And it's just so different from what I grew up with and experienced. And I just love it. And I'm embracing all of it because that's what I want in my life now. Now and forever. That's what I want. That kind of affection. And, I don't want to be ashamed of my innermost desires because they're real. And if you have that desire, one thing I know from moving here to Spain, which was my desire years ago, I kept that desire in the back of my mind and then started to revisit it because for a long time, I thought it was unattainable. I really believed that. But now I know anything is possible. It really is. You just have to decide and move one step at a time towards it. And it works out every single time. Maybe not in the exact way you expect it to, but it will work out. I promise you that. And as far as love is concerned, I want to tell you ladies, don't try to numb your feelings. A lot of us will say that, I don't want a relationship. I don't need a relationship because of our past, because of what we've gone through, because of how somebody treated us. And then what happens is you don't only get closed off from love, future love, but you get closed off from other things as well, even in your business, because that love carries over. Just like somebody who is deceptive toward you, or if they're deceptive in their business, you best believe they're deceptive in their life, in all aspects. It spreads throughout everything we do. So don't think that you trying to convince yourself or others that you don't want love, and when in the back of your mind you really do, and because you say it out loud that you don't want it, embrace it. Embrace what you really want. Because that's the only way you're going to get it. Write it down if you don't want to talk to anybody out loud about it. Come join the Sisterhood and the Freedom Collective because we talk about these things. We are very real in the things that we talk about. But it's for 50 and over. So if you're not 50 and over and you're 40, I'm sorry, you got to wait a little longer because you still have some things to go through. But you know what? Us ladies 50 and over, we've been through some stuff. And it's always nice to support one another and talk about things together and share. So yeah, embrace love in all aspects so that it can carry over into everything. And the love that I feel, that I want in a relationship, right now I feel that love in the sister circle that I have, in my business, when I'm serving the community, serving the women who come to me and have questions. That is the love that I want to continue spreading and growing. And I want to have that love in my life in a relationship as well. I think it's important to be honest with yourself first and be honest in general. That's the only way you're going to finally get what you want and what you deserve. If you're in a relationship right now where nobody's reaching for your hand, not on the hard days, not on the regular days, and not on nothing special Tuesdays, that's information. Now, I'm not saying it's a reason to blow up everything tomorrow and exit out of whatever you got going on right now, but it is information, especially if your body's telling you that's something you wish you had. That man with his wife, he didn't decide to love her that way in year 30. He decided in year 1, and he never stopped. So what can we learn from this? Don't watch how somebody treats you when everything's good. You know how people show up as the representative for the first 30 days? Watch how they treat you when it's hard, when you disappoint them, when you need something that's inconvenient. That's who they actually are. And if what you see in those moments never feel like that man's hand on his wife's back, then you already have your answer. I am very honest with myself, and y'all know I'm going to be honest with you too. I still hope for it. I'm here in Spain building this life. I'm freer than I've ever been, and I still walk past those couples every day, and sometimes I feel like I have this quiet longing for what that looks like. And I think that's okay. Wanting real love, the kind that still reaches for you after decades, that's not weakness or desperation. That's just knowing what you're worth. I left a relationship that wasn't that. Not because I stopped caring, but because I finally cared about myself enough to stop settling for a love that never reached for me. And being here in Spain, watching that man walk next to his wife with his hand still on her, I know I made the right call. That kind of love is real and it's still available, but you can't find it while you're holding on to something that was never going to be it in the first place, or by trying to convince your nervous system that what it truly desires is unattainable. That's the exit nobody talks about. The relationship that looked fine on paper, but never once held your hand on a random Tuesday. I don't want you to just feel this message and then keep on scrolling. I've got 3 questions for you. When was the last time someone reached for you? Not because they needed something, just because they wanted to be close to you. Have you normalized a version of love that was always just a little bit less than what you actually needed? What would you have to believe about yourself to think that you deserve the elderly couple version, the hand on the back version, still reaching after decades? Write your answers down in your journal or someplace, not for me, but for yourself to reflect on. Because the exit starts with knowing what you're moving toward, not just what you're leaving behind. I'm your exit queen, helping you break free, rebuild, and glow on the inside and the out. And if this hit you like it hit me, come join us inside the Freedom Collective. The link is below. It's a private sisterhood for women 50 and over who are done settling for a life that was never quite enough. And if you're ready to map out your actual exit, whatever that looks like for you, book your free 15-minute clarity call. The link is also below. I'll see you there, queens.